Hey, welcome to another edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me as always is new Michael, Kevin Jank.
Prepare to be honked like you've never been honked before.
Yes. The villain in this book basically uses a bicycle horn as his weapon. So I'm very excited about this. Today we will be reading Marvel Team Up issue 120 from 1982. Yes, we just did Marvel Team Up not too long ago. We had the Heinrich von Schnickelschnapp in the Marvel Team Up.
One of the greatest books ever.
So, but a couple weeks ago, we encountered a character in that Captain America book where Scourge murders all those C and D level villains. We encountered a fellow named Turner D. Century, dressed like someone out of the early 1900s with a straw cap and a striped coat and white slacks and a little handlebar mustache. You're like, wow, this guy seems awesome. How have I never heard of him?
Of those 18 villains in that bar, he's definitely the one that stood out.
Yes. So I had to go through the history of their comic books there and say, hey, where can we read more Turner D. Century? There's only two choices. So here we are. We went with Marvel Team Up 120. In this issue, of course, Marvel Team Up, we've talked about it many times in the past year, but it was a book that featured Spider-Man, and he would team up with a different hero every week, or every month, I should say. And they would fight a different villain all the time. And so this month, it's Dominic Fortune is the hero. Do you know anything about Dominic Fortune?
Dominic Fortune is one of those characters I've seen in many books throughout the years and never really cared about because he just seems like a normal guy. Like his name's Dominic Fortune. He's not like the Shocker or something cool like that. He's kind of wearing a costume, but kind of not.
Oh, he wears a costume. I mean, he's got the little leggings.
Yeah. Like a weird vest kind of pantsuit thing. Yeah. It's not particularly memorable. He's just kind of seems like this adventurer guy.
We'll get into his official background here in a minute. But when I was a kid, I remember seeing him occasionally, like, because I remember the outfit. When I saw the outfit today, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I had the outfit. But I never really encountered him too much over the years. So this is my first experience with Dominic Fortune. So.
Oh, really? He definitely appeared in Spider-Man books quite a bit, I would say. I always remember him popping up around Silver Sable and stuff.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I hear tell he does stuff with Silver Sable or something.
Yeah.
But all right,
but I seem to remember him mostly as a young man, which he is not.
No, he's not. Which is why I don't know how they handle this. Like when you're reading these modern adventures of him and Silver Sable, he's a young man, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I don't know how they explain that, but we'll get into that in a minute. But
I do remember also some story, it's fairly recent, probably, I think it's recent, but it's probably 15 years old by now. But, it was like Avengers 1959 or something like that. There was some limited series where like they were like, oh yeah, back in like the 50s, before the Avengers, Nick Fury started a group basically of Avengers, and it was all these people that were around at the time. I think it was like a younger Kraven the Hunter was maybe one of them. It's a weird group.
Richie
Cunningham was one of them, I believe. Yeah.
The Fawns.
That's where Richie's older brother went to, as he joined that team. Yeah. That's why he disappeared.
All right, but the star of the show is clearly Turner D. Century. His real name is Clifford F. Michaels.
Oh, I was hoping his name was actually Turner D. Century. That's disappointing to learn.
And at first I thought his name was Michael Clifford, but no, it's Clifford F. Michaels. I wrote it backwards. And his first appearance was in Spider-Woman issue 33 from 1980. And he was created by J.M. DeMatteis, Steve Leialoha, and Bruce D. Patterson. A lot of initials.
Oh, so James DeMatteis really likes this Turner D. Century.
Yeah.
It's one of the proudest creations, I guess.
Yes, because J.M. DeMatteis is the writer for the book we're reading here today, and the artist is Kerry Gamble. And we've talked about both people many times on the show. DeMatteis several times. Gamble, I know, he did that Indiana Jones book I loved in year one, I believe, of Flea Market Fantasy. So you can go back and listen to them. But this Clifford F. Michaels. Yes, he did, the Flea. Yeah, we got to give out the Fleas again. When do we do that?
I don't know. Is it around the same time as the Quesadilla Awards?
I think so for the LCS show. Yeah, we give out the quesadillas. So yeah, I think in the summer sometime we'll worry about it then.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So this Clifford F. Michaels, he was the son of a chauffeur who worked for Morgan McNeil Hardy, a millionaire who rebuilt San Francisco after the 1906 earthquake. After Clifford's father died, Hardy adopted him, and Hardy limited his exposure to the outside world and taught him to love traditional values. That's nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
I feel like if you were to adopt, like a young short round, you'd pretty much grow up into Dominic Fortune because you'd just be making him listen to old radio shows and shows that nobody heard of from the 50s and Dobie Gillis and
TV sitcoms. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, wow, that really was the greatest generation because I have nothing to compare it to.
This Hardy fella, he led a failed political movement to force traditional values on the country. And then I think he died. Clifford carried on his work. So
yeah, he did. Not very well, because this is pretty much his follow-up attempt is right here, and then he dies in his next appearance. So
now, this millionaire guy, this Hardy, have you ever heard the name Morgan McNeil Hardy before in your comic book travels?
I don't think so. He's not related to Felicia Hardy, is he?
Not that I know, but
okay,
he was later retconned, because I don't think he appeared in that Spider-Woman issue, and they both appear to die in that issue at the end. Like there's a big explosion. But they both survived. And this Hardy guy, I think in the pages of Captain America and the Avengers, he becomes known as the Forever Man.
Okay.
Does that name ring any bells?
Not so much.
All right. So yeah, not for me either. I was hoping you had heard of him. But apparently this Forever Man, he dies and he's just reborn again. And he ages rapidly to grow back up quickly or whatever. So
so he's reborn as a baby and then has to
he grows right back up.
Yeah, like Deadpool's hand in the movie there.
I didn't see that part of the movie, so I don't know.
Oh, you saw the first one though, didn't you? Where he lost his hand and then he was like had a baby hand.
Oh, see, I don't even remember that. I assumed that happened in the second movie, which I didn't see.
They did it kind of again in the second movie where he loses his whole bottom half and he's got like little baby legs and little baby dick.
No.
Like shirt cocking it.
Yeah, so I guess that's like the Forever Man. I no idea. All right, so that's Turner D. Century. That's basically his history because he only had 2 appearances. But
yeah, sad. So much more meat left on this bone.
But he rides around on a flying bicycle built for 2.
Yeah. That is the one kind of disappointing thing where it's like, why couldn't it have been the old timey like penny farthing bicycle rather than a bicycle for 2?
Yeah. But like in this issue, in the first appearance, that second seat is usually occupied by a mannequin lady dressed like in the 1890s fashion or whatever. And
car lane, so he gets a dummy.
Yeah, and he just tosses her aside in this issue. But in the first appearance of Spider-Woman, I believe at one point he takes off the dummy's head and it's a bomb and he throws it at somebody. So
he must have another dummy, I'm assuming.
Yes,
sounds like that met the Grim Reaper.
And there's no indication of how the bicycle flies. He's just he's a wizard of technology, I guess. This Turner D. Century.
When did the first, that Spider-Woman come out? Was that after E.T. as well? Because
no, that was before E.T. That was 1980. Yeah, this book came out in 82. Yeah. So, but yeah, his first appearance was 1980, pre-E.T. So clearly E.T. ripped him off. But,
Yep. Starting to see a pattern.
Turner D. Century. All right, so Dominic Fortune, his real name was David Jerome Fortunov. That's D-U-V-I-D, David Jerome Fortunov. And his first appearance was Marvel Preview Issue 2, 1975. That was that black and white thing, right? We did Star-Lord made his first appearance in that as well. Yep. Issue 4 for Star-Lord, I believe. And he was created by Len Wein and Howard Chaykin. Actually, Howard Chaykin did, most of the creating here because he created a character called the Scorpion for Atlas Comics in 1975. And Scorpion had his own series. It only ran for 3 issues. He only did the first 2 issues and then he quit over creative control. So when he came to Marvel, then he brought the character and basically just renamed it Dominic Fortune. And then Len Wein helped him out with a slightly different backstory here from Marvel, I guess. But yeah, this is a Howard Chaykin creation, basically.
Yeah, that sounds about right. How do you feel about the Howard Chaykin's art?
Hit or miss. Hit or miss.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks cool. Sometimes it looks awful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mostly gotten worse.
Yeah, I think his best days are probably late 70s, early 80s. But,
yeah.
We've never read any American Flag. Remember that was the book he did, like the independent book. Yeah, we should read American Flag. Yeah. But all right, so this Dominic Fortune, he grew up on New York's Lower East Side during the 1920s, and he was always in trouble with the law, so he became a mercenary for hire, just an adventurer going around having adventures. That seems like a nice life, just having adventures.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much just Doc Savage, right?
Oh, no. Doc Savage, come on now. Let's not...
I mean, this guy's Les Bronze, of course.
Let's not blaspheme Doc Savage. Doc Savage was raised to be the ultimate human from the time he was an itty-bitty baby. His daddy raised him, gave him all sorts of physical regiment and mental experiments. He goes out in the world to service mankind, to help humanity.
With his mouth?
No. How dare you? This isn't under the Queensboro Bridge, one of them situations. He's going out to help humanity, not like this guy here. This guy's just out for his own glory,
Yeah, that's right. Fortune and glory, kid.
And he lived on the Mississippi Queen, a floating casino moored just outside of U.S. waters.
That's pretty good.
And the
life I'd like to live.
The owner of that casino is a lady named Sabbath Raven.
Yeah, what a name.
Sabbath Raven.
Yeah. They're like, Black Sabbath is too cool, so what do we do? Go Sabbath and then Raven, because they're black.
Yeah, mix it around a little bit.
Yeah.
But she's a foxy lady who that was kind of like his girlfriend, and but it seemed like this Dominic Fortune, he had lots of lovers,
Yeah.
I like to say.
No one was ever as good as Sabbath.
Yeah, Raven. Sabbath Raven was his favorite. And she owned the casino where he lived, yeah. That would be nice to just live at a casino. Roll out of bed, play some kitty glitter. Nice.
If you start losing your hat, you just dive off the boat, run away.
Get out.
Can't catch me.
But yeah, like you mentioned, this Dominic Fortune, he has no powers or anything. He's just a fella with a little wacky outfit, and I guess he has guns and stuff like that. But just an adventurer.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like a mercenary type guy.
Yeah.
Just kind of out for kicks, I guess.
Yeah. I think they refer to him as a brigand. So, that's something.
I've heard that. Celebrity Jeopardy.
Just a robber or a criminal. But here he is. Dominic Fortune and Marvel team up. Let's look at the cover, Jank. Marvel team up Spider-Man and Dominic Fortune. You explain the cover for us.
It's a pretty disappointing cover. I mean, Turn of the Century is not even on it, so.
Yeah, that is a letdown.
How are you trying to sell this to the people if you don't feature your biggest asset? So we got the Marvel Comics group across the top there. And then we got a very large corner box, where we got a shot of Spider-Man and then a shot of Dominic Fortune in his younger days. He also looks very young in the picture that we see. Because it says Marvel team up Spider-Man and Dominic Fortune. And then we get like kind of a black background. Clearly then there's an open door against the black where Dominic Fortune's coming through the door. And he says, "Stand aside, Sonny. This is a job for a real hero." He's got a gun in each hand. And, in the foreground there, we got Spider-Man who's being grabbed by somebody who looks quite muscular.
Yeah, that is not Turner D Century. I don't know what they're going for here.
He's a wiry fella. Yeah. But he's clearly in a battle with this guy, and his spider sense is going off, but doesn't look good until Dominic Fortune shows up. And then it says the title at the bottom, or not really the title, but a tease there. The Spider and the Swashbuckler.
Yeah, swashbuckler. Now, you mentioned he looks like a younger guy. Yeah, they keep him in shadows, but clearly it looks like he has his black hair there, instead of the gray hair. But he does say Sonny. Stand aside, Sonny. And also, look, no direct address on the Sonny. I like to get a comma in there. Let's go. Stand aside, Sonny.
That's the editor in you.
Yeah,
yep.
Let's make that work. But I like the shot of Spider-Man, Cary Gamble. That's a nice Spider-Man. Yeah, it's a cover.
Yeah.
We need Turner D-Century in here. I'm thinking what happened is they probably said, all right, we're going to do Spider-Man and Dominic Fortune this month. We need a cover for it. And they didn't know it was going to be Turner D-Century. Because if they knew Turner D-Century, he has to be front and center.
Yeah. And the corner box should just be him. Forget Spider-Man and Dominic Fortune. Just all Turner D-Century.
So we open it up and we see Spider-Man and Dominic Fortune and the big banner. And then Old Soldiers is what this one is called. And I think that title's been used many times over the years.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I'm sure that was definitely used in, what was that, Uncanny X-Men 2?
I want to say, two...
Maybe 2 yeah.
15-ish.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yep.
The Crimson...
The Storm was...
Yeah. They were like 3 old dudes. I can't remember who they were, but... Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
It's a good one. All right, Jake, so what do we have here on the Big Splash page?
So we open up on a nursing home, which is definitely what you always want to do on your Big Splash page. Sell this book to kids. It's a big splash page of a bunch of old folks. We got Aunt May and Nathan Lubensky there singing their hearts out. Nathan was her lover who had a gambling problem.
Yeah, wait a minute. I have no experience with Nathan Levinsky, but Aunt May's older than dirt. This isn't who's the lady I like? Young Aunt May in the movies.
Oh, Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa. This is no Marissa Tomei Aunt May.
Not at all.
Yeah, this is old school Aunt May, and she has a lover. She's taken a lover at the age of 117 or however she was.
Yeah, and this wouldn't even be the last. She actually did end up getting married much later on, again.
Yeah, because she's engaged to this guy, this Nathan Levinsky guy, and he's in a wheelchair with his legs covered up in a blanket, and he's playing a guitar, and they're singing by the light of the silvery moon, and everyone's having a gay old time. And I like if you look at the bottom, there's an old fellow. They're playing some cards. Look at this guy. He's got 3 aces.
Yeah, he's been pretty.
Yeah, he is.
That's probably cheating.
But this Nathan Levinsky, I read, do you know his history and everything?
Yeah, they were engaged for quite a while, and then I think at some point she leaves this nursing home and basically turns her home into a nursing home. Oh. And he's one of the old folks that lives there. And then
you have to get licenses and stuff for that, right? Come on, man. You can't just be taking in people off the street.
You're not really qualified to be caring for an old person when you're constantly at death's door.
You need insurance. You need a license. Come on, whatever, Aunt May. All right.
Fast and loose over there in New York there. But then he ends up getting killed by the Vulture.
That's right. Yeah, I did read up on that. Yeah. And then the Vulture at some point he goes to May to apologize, to make amends.
That's right.
And May said, "Fuck you, I'm not forgiving you." And the Vulture was upset by this. But,
yep. Yeah. Of all the terrible things he's done, killing that one old man really got to him.
Yeah.
I do like that they're like, well, who can kill this old guy? We need another old guy.
Another old guy. And so, all right, they're singing by the silver moon, and in the foreground, there's Peter Parker eyeing him up, and he's all happy that his aunt is getting some, And he's like, look at that. These 2 lovers. I like the shot on the next page. He's thinking over the scene, how Aunt May's so happy and everything. And then in the background on the wall, there's a shot of a Spider-Man silhouette with red webbing behind him. That's pretty cool.
It's basically the black costume, but with the white spider.
A few years early. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so then Aunt May says, "Hey Peter, why aren't you singing?" So he sings, and everyone's having a hell of a time. And Till what happens though, Jank? Someone's a party pooper and all this.
Yep, Aunt May calls him out, and she's like, Mr. Fortunoff. He's like, go away. She says, oh, don't be such a sourpuss, Mr. Fortunoff. There's so much fun to be had if you just, Miss Parker, will you please mind your own blasted business?
Yeah, and he turns around, stares right at the camera as he's saying it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Nathan tries to, stand up for her, but he can't because he's, in a wheelchair. So.
Yeah, he's wheeling his way over. And
Yeah.
Peter Parker's yelling. Well, not yelling, but he's running over too. And he says, hey, take it easy, Nathan. The orderlies are singing to Mr. Fortunov, and Aunt May seems okay. I hope. In thought bubbles. But yeah, the orderlies come in, the screws from the old age home. They come over, and they grab him by the arms, and they're leading him off. Like, all right, Mr. Fortunov, you've had enough outside time today. You're going inside.
I mean, I'm kind of on Fortunov's side here. Like, I wouldn't want to be fucking singing. Leave me alone.
But it begs the question, why is Fortunov out there around all these people if he wants to be left alone? Maybe stay in your room, Mr. Fortunov.
I mean, this might be the only yard time they get, so he's like, I just want to go outside and sneak a dart.
It also seems to be that they're on top of the roof, right? Or they're looking over a wall. Or are they? Because
Yeah, that's true.
That seems like a bad location because a lot of people are going to be jumping off that roof. No, they're just going to be like, I've had enough of this shit.
Yeah, especially if it's that nursing home from Happy Gilmore. A lot of people trying to escape.
So they put Fortunov into his room there. It's a nice room,
Yeah, pretty spacious.
Yeah,
a lot of leg room.
Take that. That's going to be me someday. So, I'll be a ward of this state.
Tuffy's house.
Yeah, or Tuffy's house. Yeah. But I'm looking at. He's looking out the window there, and take us through this, Jank. He looks in the window and he sees his younger reflection.
Yeah. And he's just thinking back to all his adventures and mostly about Sabbath Raven and what a dynamite lady she was. And somehow, he's like, I lost track of her. Like,
yeah,
well,
lost track of her.
Like,
it's the lady I love the most in my life, but we lost touch. Wait, what?
I mean, I think at one point he mentions the war, so maybe it was that. Like,
okay,
she got back from, the war, like, oh, she's gone and I can't find her.
I guess when there is a world war, you could lose touch with someone.
Yeah, that might be it, but.
Sense. But, would you care to describe his outfit? So his,
Oh, sure. It's basically, it's Hobgoblin-esque in ways where it's he's basically got a black bodysuit that covers, his arms and legs. And then he's got like an orange vest, that has very flared orange collar. And it extends down past his, belly down to his underpants area.
Yeah.
So it's like a one-piece vest, I guess. And then he's got like a big old, black belt with a giant buckle. And he's got kind of, pirate swashbuckler type, gloves and, boots that are like a dark brown. So it's very orange and brown, which is not a very appealing color palette.
And he also has like a side holster usually.
Yeah, he's got them 2 guns.
Yeah. But this Sabbath Raven, she's a foxy brunette there, and they're having a good life. They're at like a casino. Looks like they're at a roulette wheel there. And but then we see a shot of him after he loses touch with Sabbath Raven. He's like at a dinner table as an old man, and there's a bunch of babies around the table and a guy reading a newspaper and his wife, and he just looks miserable.
Yeah. That's where it all went downhill. He basically just forced to marry somebody because he couldn't find Sabbath Raven, and
I didn't understand. Like, I mean, you married someone else. Like, why? Why won't you go? You're a mercenary. You like to travel the world. Go find Sabbath Raven. He's like, nah. I got me some on the side there, so I'm like, I'll just marry her while I'm here. And they had some kids, and then he was living with. And then his wife died, so he's living with his son and his son's family. And these kids are just hopping on Grandpa, and he wants no part of it. He's like, just leave me alone.
Just don't put me in a home where they make me sing.
Yeah, but then he's like, I don't even blame my son for putting me in a home. The Restwell home, because he became old and embittered. No, not much.
Yeah.
But then he looks out and he sees Sabbath Raven's reflection, or at least her reflection's in the window behind him. He says, "Oh, Sabbath, whatever became of you, doll? It's not like I didn't try to find you, you know? Oh, he did try to find her. All right, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I looked high and low in between, but that war, that crummy war, it drained something out of me. But I never forgot you, doll. And I never will. Not till the day they stick this weathered old carcass 6 feet in the, hey, was that? Nah, couldn't be. He looks back out the window. But it is. What does he see, Jank?
A man on a flying bicycle? And here we get our boy, Turner D. Century, riding his bicycle built for two with his dummy lady behind him.
Yeah, she's riding side saddle in a pink dress.
Yeah.
And a yellow hat.
He's got his umbrella. He's looking fancy.
Yeah, he's like in a green pinstriped suit coat, white pants, straw hat. Yep. Turner D. Century.
Old mustache.
and this Dominic Fortune fella, he recognizes him as Turner D. Century, I guess.
I don't think so. I think that's more just narration for us.
No, I think he does, doesn't he? Because later on he says, we'll get to it when he meets him. But I think he does say he heard about his adventure, what he did in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But man, so he knows he has to jump into action, you know, even though he's like 75 years old here. And,
this is weird. Like, why bother? Like, again, you're an embittered old man. What makes you want to follow this guy on a bike?
So he rummages through his old trunk. I just hope that dumb kid of mine didn't throw that darn thing out. So he finds his old uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And it still fits. You know?
Yeah. He's still in shape for an old man.
Yeah. And like a snake in reverse, Davy Fortunoff sheds new skin for old, and Dominic Fortune lives again.
I like that he waited all this time, took the time to find this costume and put it on. When, again, you're just an old man. Like, you don't wear a mask. It's not like you're hiding your identity with this, so you could just go after him in your normal clothes.
Nah, you need your outfit. You need your outfit. Make it official. But I just don't know why he kept it buried. You think he would have had it like proudly displayed in his room, you know? Look, these are just wear it every day when they go eat their pudding and stuff. Goes Dominic.
He doesn't want to have an accident in it,
I guess. But he's going to jump out the window, like across to the open opposite roof. But then he looks down. This is a great shot of Gamble storytelling, a worm's eye view, looking up the building to see how high it is. And then he says, "You know what? On second thought, I'll just take the stairs."
Yeah. That's pretty great.
Yeah. All right, Jenks. And then we cut back outside to the peoples. No, I guess they weren't on a roof. They were down in a walled off area. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe this is like a planter box. That's what all those little walls were.
So Peter Parker's taking pictures of Nathan surrounded by May and a couple other old ladies. And then Nathan says, "Hey, I want to get a shot of you at the ladies." And Parker is nervous.
Yep. All these grannies want to kiss him, even though he is not their nephew.
It's like Blanche from the Golden Girls trying to get on top of Peter Parker. He's very nervous. Very nervous.
Nathan's taking pictures of it, getting off on it. It's weird.
Yeah, that is a little weird. Nathan's really into this.
Now undo a couple buttons.
But I like how we see Dominic Fortune in the background running down the stairs, and then he busts through the doors, and he's gangway, and the orderlies and nurses are chasing after him. But this Dominic Fortune, for an old man, he can still run, which is more than I can say about myself. I just shot hockey today. I couldn't run worth a damn. But this guy, he's leaping over cars and everything. And now Nathan, just a couple pages ago, Nathan was very upset at Dominic Fortune.
Yeah, he was going to take a swing at him.
Yeah, because but now he's like, yeah, well, what do you know? The old coot has some life in him after all. Attaboy, Fortune. He's all excited, you know?
I guess it's inspiring to see an oldster getting around that well.
But then Aunt May starts chastising Nathan. She's like, "Nathan Lebensky, why are you encouraging the poor man? Mr. Fortunoff might be disturbed. Maybe he could do himself some serious harm. I can think of a certain other old coot who thought running away was the answer to his problem. And apparently that's, and he nearly got himself killed. That was last issue." Yeah. I guess this is Nathan Lebensky.
Yeah, he was always getting in trouble. I think he had a gambling problem, so he had a lot of bookies looking for him.
If only he lived on a floating casino.
Yeah, he missed out.
So then Aunt May's like, do you believe this guy, Peter? Oh, and then she turns around. Where'd that boy get off to? Yeah, because he's gone.
Yeah. I guess you could always blame it later on on those old women. He's like, I didn't want to be around them anymore. They're all trying to touch me.
So he gets up to the rooftop there to change into Spider-Man, and he also has to test his web shooters. So you see him shoot his web shooters off. I don't know if we've ever actually talked about this. I think Michael and I have. How do you prefer your Spider-Man, with web shooters or without web shooters?
Oh, you mean like the organic webbing?
Yeah.
Definitely the web shooters. 100%. That was the dumbest thing they ever tried.
It is interesting, though, because if you are Spider-Man, you think you'd be able to naturally just do that. Shoot web out of your butt or something.
Yeah.
You know? But,
yeah. I mean, in a way it makes sense, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's been done this way for so long that you can't picture it any other way. The weird thing is that, you know, he gets bitten by a spider and is then somehow able to create these things. Like, he could have done this before. Like, why didn't you invent this webbing before you had powers?
Well, he never had the incentive to do it until he could climb walls, you know?
Yeah. And he's like, I gotta come up with something thematic, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, to be a Spider-Man, you think the things they can do is climb walls and shoot webs. And he's really only 1 for 1, or 1 out of 2. He could have also been Ant-Man, when you think about it. Could have been Ant-Man. You know? Because ants can climb walls, you know, right? Can they?
Makes sense. Yeah. I remember in that Ant-Man book, there was a lot of that.
Yeah, that's right.
Going down vents and stuff, like they were climbing up.
I got to spend more time with ants. I had to think about that, whether they could climb walls. But yeah, he could have been any insect. So, the fact that he picked spider, well, I guess he got bit by that spider. That's why. Like, he knew he got bit by a spider. He didn't get bit by an ant. So, alright, I guess that makes sense. But, yeah, because when I was a kid, it was always a thing, you know, oh, he's going to run out of web fluid, you know, because, he runs out of web fluid, he's fucked, you know?
And it seemed to happen quite a bit.
Basically every issue he ran out of web fluid.
I mean, you got to figure, how much does he waste just, you know, going around the city? Like, that's got to take so much webbing. Swinging from one end to the other.
Yeah, like here on the roof, he's like, but first, let's make sure we're loaded up on the indispensable web fluid. And he just wasted some right there to test it. You know, he just wasted some. But, he's ready to go. So he starts swinging over the city, and he's trying to track down Dominic Fortune. And Dominic Fortune gets away from the orderlies chasing him. And then he sees Turner D. Sentry flying above him on the bicycle again.
Yeah.
He's like, you. So take it away from here, Jank.
All right. I do like that when Peter Parker is, you know, changing into Spider-Man, he's like, oh, damn it, I left my camera back there. Yeah. I wanted to go get pictures of this old man running around. Like, why would the Daily Bugle want pictures of an old man running down the street? Like,
a jailbreak at the Restwell Rest Home, you know, it's pretty exciting. Jameson would have played. He would have bid on that, you know. Come on, Jameson. There's an old man running. So
look at that. Oh yeah. So here we get Dominic Fortune has tracked down Turner D. Sentry, and so he says, I don't know what you're hiding from, my friend, but you need hide no longer. I am here to lead you to peace and safety. Are you really, boy chick? I love the boy chick.
Yeah, boy chick. Something you don't hear too often.
Not anymore, but in the 80s, a lot. So he says, tell me more. Indeed I shall. All those of your era are my children, to protect, to watch over like a guardian angel.
I like how you're giving the flavor to his voice.
Yeah, I like that. Gotta amp it up there. You mean like the angel of death? I know all about you, Mr. Turner D. Sentry.
Yeah,
do you really? Has my fame really spread from coast to coast? It certainly has. And here's where we get his backstory from that Spider-Woman issue.
Yeah. And he was just going around destroying things because his umbrella is a flamethrower as well.
Yeah. So basically he's just a firebug and just like burning things.
Because basically Turner D. Sentry wants to bring down the new world and bring it back to the old days. And anyone over 65 he loves. If you're an old person, he loves you. That's why he's trying to protect Dominic Fortune here. He's not in any way trying to fight against Dominic Fortune because he's an old man. He loves them. But all these young whippersnappers, screw them, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't like them. But Dominic Fortune, though, he's kind of sad there. Like, Turner D. Century, after Dominic Fortune recounts all Turner D. Century, all of the evil he did in San Francisco there with Spider-Woman, he says, "You wronged me unjustly, my friend. I only did what was necessary to preserve the sanity of this sick society, to make life easier for sweet souls like you." And he's like, "I'm not sweet, pal, and I never was." And he punches Turner D. Century right off the bicycle. Boom. Knocks him right off.
Yep.
Kind of a dick move.
Call me sweet. It's calling him a Nancy boy.
And he's like, "Hey, that felt darn good. I like punching people, and that's pretty great." But then Turner D. Century's
punch that Nathan.
Why, you despicable cretin? And he gets up and cracks him with the umbrella. Bang.
Yep. That would get an oy vey out of Dominic Fortune there.
Oy vey. And he says, "I hope they still make ledges like they used to." Yeah, because he grabs onto a ledge and he's hanging off the building side. But Turner D. Century says, "Oh, dear me." Oh, wait, you read Turner D. Century. You got the voice down. Go ahead.
"Oh, dear me. What have I done? Forgive me, my friend. I simply lost control of myself. Here, let me give you a hand."
Yeah. So he doesn't want to harm Dominic Fortune. He wants to save him. And to show you just how important this saving this old man is, he tosses aside his mannequin, his lady mannequin.
Yeah. I got a seat for you right here.
Yeah. So Dominic Fortune says, "All right, I got to see what this guy's up to. I got to keep an eye on you, Chuckles." That's an exact quote. Dominic Fortune.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what exactly he's up to. I guess maybe he is worried for the people of the city because he's heard about Turner D. Century's previous adventures.
Yeah, he's like, he's going to set the town on fire with that umbrella of his. We got to keep an eye on him. So now we go back to Spider-Man, and he's swinging around the city. He figures he'll just swing around until his spider sense goes off. And sure enough, boom, it goes off, and he sees Turner D. Century and Dominic Fortune. And is he really that? He doesn't seem all that surprised. All right, but what's he doing flying around like the Wicked Witch of the West? And who's that weirdo with him? Yeah. So I guess he was a little surprised.
He follows them to an apartment, and we get more Wizard of Oz talk, where he's just like, "I just hope that when I peek into that apartment they just flew into, I don't find Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man staring back at me." And he looks in and just says, "Wow," because they're just doing it.
No, that's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. It's like a really old apartment with there's like a Model T in the apartment, which seems weird that they was able to get.
Yeah. This is a good shot here of all the old stuff. I love this. The giant record player with the phonograph thing there.
Yeah, gramophone, is that what that is? Is that what
they
call it?
Yeah, that's it.
Old school radio, like the kind I listen to my radio shows on. The old
school
radio there. Big grandfather clock.
It's like that.
It's pretty good. So Turner D. Century, he gives the explanation to Dominic Fortune, about his beloved mentor Morgan McNeil Hardy, how he lost his life, and but he's just trying to make the world a better place, and that's what he wants to do. And he leads him into this other room, and he's got all kind of technology, all these fancy machines and gadgets and everything. And he says, "So what?"
Yes.
Yeah. So Fortune says, "So what, pray tell, has this got to do with your grand scheme?" And tell the grand scheme there, Jack.
Oh, this is great. The answer lies here in my greatest creation, the time horn. With it attached to my bicycle, I will fly over the streets of decadent New York and unleash ultrasonic sound waves that will attack the central nervous systems of all those under the age of 65.
Now, do you see a problem with his plan?
That he himself is far below the age of 65?
Yes.
Yep.
That seems like a big problem. Like he turns on the little horn and
special earplugs or something.
Yeah, they don't really say that, but yeah, it'd have to be something like that. Because man, he's just murdering himself as he does it. Yeah, he intends to murder everybody under the age of 65.
Yep. Pretty dark. I mean, you thought setting everything on fire was bad, but no, this is significantly worse.
It's Turner D. Century.
Genocide everyone under 65.
He doesn't dick around, this guy. And he's like, after that, only the pure ones, the old ones, will be left alive, and this city of sin and debauchery will become a veritable heaven on earth.
Yeah. Not for very long, because the race will die out, I guess, after that, because those old people are too old to have any children.
Oh no, that old May Parker's trying, you know. She's bedding down every old man she sees, trying to get some. But then Dominic Fortune won't hear tell of this. You know, Mister, the only thing worse than an old fool is a young nut, and you are wacko. And then Spider-Man crashes through the window, and he says, I couldn't agree more. Who in Hades? Hey, that's Spider-Man. But Jack, this Turner Century, he's not scared of Spider-Man because he's got his time horn.
And he's had it up to here with Spider People after fighting Spider-Woman.
That's right. That's right.
God damn it.
What's up with all these spider people?
So Spider-Man's like, I don't think your horn does anything. And then his spider sense starts going off, and Eternity Century says, "Say your prayers, you was it Effet upstart?"
Yeah, Effet. Yeah.
And then he starts ragging on Spider-Man too. You won't be disgracing your gender any longer by prancing around in public in those effeminate tights. In other words, die.
Yeah, so he honks the horn, and we get 3 panels, 3 great shots of Spider-Man holding his head, then falling to one knee, and then just passing out face forward, just dead.
Yeah. Oops.
So
every Marvel team up for Spider-Man, I guess.
Yeah, Doc Ock, Sandman, Green Goblin, Vulture, Electro, where they all failed, Turner D Century succeeded, killed
they
Spider-Man.
Needed more bike horn weapons. That's his Achilles heel.
Dominic Fortune's like, yeah, Sentry, you killed him. You know, a certain lovely lady once told me that I wasn't the smartest man in the world or the nicest, but she said I could always be counted on to come through. And Buster, I'm coming through you. That sounds a little weird.
Yeah.
Phrasing, Dominic, phrasing.
Yeah, you might want to rethink that one.
But I think the lady, he's talking, that's Sabbath Raven probably, right? Do you think that's what he's talking about? Yeah.
Really, he didn't come through on finding her after the war there, but.
But this Turner D Century, he just says, tut, I can see what I'm wasting my time with you, sir. And he just sidesteps him and bops him on the head. Bop. Knocks him out. So Turner D Century flies off on his bicycle to murder the city. And Dominic Fortune tries to wake up Spider-Man, but yeah, he's dead. Spider-Man's dead. It's over. So now Dominic Fortune, he's once again facing the situation where he can jump out a window. You know, earlier he took the stairs, but now there's no choice.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's got to do it.
So we get a 75-year-old man leaping out of a window. And he's like, all I got to do is grab onto that metal fire escape, 100 feet below me as I plummet to the earth. That should be easy to do with my brittle bones. And he does it.
Yeah, somehow he does. He's clearly in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
It's like, to think that I once made my living like this, the mind boggles.
Yeah,
and then he starts getting into it. He's swinging on all kind of just, lights that are hanging off of it, just going from one to the next.
This is like prime Daredevil. Daredevil used to do this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But he lands on a rooftop closer to Turner D Century. Turner D Century, he's hitting the honk on the horn there. And I like the visual effect here because it's like everything is in white, and it almost looks like a Mystery issue, the white and black and the red. And then like the honking of the horn is like a blue wisps coming off of it. Mm-hmm. So all the people, all the people are just dropping dead. And Dominic Fortune gets a clothesline, makes a lasso out of it, and he hooks it around the second seat of the bicycle. And now he's trailing behind.
For two was a bad idea, it turns out.
Yeah, it came back to bite him in the ass.
Lasso.
Hoisted on his own petard. And then so he's dragging behind him. This is very much like Spider-Man does in every issue whenever there's a flying guy. Spider-Man's always hanging behind him with his webbing, Yeah. Now it's Dominic Fortune and his clothesline.
And it's just as strong.
Turner D Century busts out his umbrella, the flamethrower umbrella, but he's missing Dominic Fortune, and he swings around, boom, kicks him right in the face, knocks him off the bicycle, and they fall onto a nearby roof. And then he gives him the coup de grace, the Finn Balor, off the top rope, stomps him in the back. That's pretty good.
Yep.
And then he's grounding and pounding Turner D Century. But then what happens, Jank?
Well, first he's given Turner D Century the business about old people aren't sweet and we're not in towers of wisdom and shit. It's like we're just people.
Yeah, we're just people.
Yep. But he starts his speechifying starts getting interrupted more and more by his huffing. And he's clearly tired and might be going down here because he just goes, "Oh no, not now," and then keels over. It's like he's had a heart attack and died.
Yeah, he just passes out dead.
Yep.
When I was reading up on Dominic Fortune, they say his abilities, like Marvel fandom page or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It says skilled hand-to-hand combatant, good with weapons and everything. But in his older days, tired easily. And this is what we see. He tires easily.
I think that goes for most of us, yeah. Once we hit a certain age.
Hey, Dominic, here's the secret. Take a 2-hour nap before you do a podcast. That's what I do. Works out beautifully. But yeah, so Dominic Fortune just passes out there. And all looks lost, And Turner D Century's like mourning Dominic Fortune's passing. He's like, "Oh, you poor fella. Sorry, his heart just gave out, Too bad. Oh heavens, you poor confused old man. I never meant for this to end this way. But you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and murder everybody else anyway." So here we go. He's gonna start hitting the horn again. But then we
get my great line. New York, prepare to be honked as you've never been honked before.
Thought about that.
Loved it.
Yeah. And then Thwip, Spider-Man webbing comes in, catches him on the hand, and Sentry, don't touch that Dow. And here comes Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And he comes in, he gives him like a flying triangle, wraps him around the head with his legs. Something.
Yeah. Call that the Sonya Blade.
And then he tosses him off the roof there, but he puts I love this, he makes like a little trampoline of webbing.
Yep. He's going to catch him. He doesn't want him to fall to his death, so you got to make a net, but turns out it's too taut, and Turner D Century just pops right back up, and he's got his umbrella flamethrower right there ready.
Yeah.
He's already shooting in Spider-Man.
Yeah, we see a panel of him like in the webbing, like disappeared, so we don't see Turner D Century, and then it springs back up, and next time we see him, his flamethrower is cooking, man. He's just firing at Spider-Man. It's pretty awesome. But then Spider-Man webs up the umbrella, just whips it into the wall, destroys it, and then he KOs Turner D Century with the right cross. Bang.
Yeah.
Over. And
Yeah,
he
once
webbed them up.
Footing, I think Spider-Man's got the advantage over Turner D Century.
Yeah, so he KOs him, he webs him up, and then he goes to check on Dominic Fortune. He's like, "He's alive!" And they have a little conversation on the roof. Yeah, he was just exhausted, It wasn't a heart attack.
Yeah, you just need to recover a little bit. It's basically what happens at WWE every 5 seconds. Oh, look, I can't get up even though nothing happened to me.
When there's a triple threat match, someone always gets real tuckered out on the outside of the ring. He just can't get up for a while. That's what happened to Dominic Fortune. So they have a conversation. What are they saying here in this conversation, Jank?
Basically, Dominic Fortune has been inspired by this whole thing somehow to go look for his long lost love there, Sabbath. Spider-Man's like, wait a minute, where are you going? Don't you think you should see a doctor? Or, listen, kid, old soldiers never die, and I'm betting that somewhere there's a dish named Sabbath who's still holding on too. I'm gonna find her, kid, and when I do, sparks are gonna fly. I don't want to think about that. These guys are old as fuck.
Yeah, is that because of their two withered, dried up bodies rubbing together? Sparks are gonna fly. But yeah. But I think we learned a few important things here on this episode of Flea Market Fantasy. One, Turner D Century is awesome. Two, Jank has a real gift for voices. I think he got to reenact all these, because your Dominic Fortune's pretty awesome too.
All right, I'm getting better at this.
Yeah.
I'm getting the hang of it.
It's pretty great. So there it is. And then the ending there, it says Fanny with a question mark. We might be seeing more Dominic Fortune. But does anybody really want to see a 75-year-old dude track down another 75-year-old lady so they can make sweet, sweet love?
No, I do not. I would not. I would be writing a letter to the letters page. Please don't let that happen.
And it says, next issue, The Human Torch, and don't miss the dazzling debut of the bounciest hero of the year.
Oh, this is
pre-Speedball. So yeah, I know. That's who I thought of too right away. Speedball. It's got to be Speedball.
Was it like that frog guy?
Well, I'm looking at the cover. It says, this is the Speed Demon, and he's about to run all over Spider-Man and the Human Torch. Only this mystery hero can save them. Who is he? Well, now I got to flip through the book to see who the mystery hero is.
I forget what that guy's name is, but I think it's just Frogman.
Yeah, there's a dude in the frog costume, yeah.
Yep. Yep, there we go. I knew it.
Didn't a Daredevil fight a villain, Leapfrog, right? Wasn't that the villain?
Yeah, that's him. I don't know. Maybe that was a different guy, because this guy seems to be a hero. Yeah. And they said introducing him, so this must be his origin.
Oh, no, it is the Leapfrog. Move over, world. The Leapfrog's leaping through. So maybe he was the Leapfrog and he's a bad guy, but now he's going to be a good guy.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, they're counting that as an introduction.
He saw the light. Marvel Team Up is awesome.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They throw some random shit in there.
So what'd you think of this issue? J.M. DeMatteis is the writer, and he apparently, yeah, he loves the turn of the century, clearly. Cause
yep. He's a proud papa character. Yeah. I quite enjoyed it. Turn of the Century did not disappoint. Again, I wish it would have had the old timey bicycle, but other than that, pretty great. His dialogue was wacky, just as you would expect it to be. So yeah. I liked it. I mean, is this J.M. DeMatteis' finest work? Like, is this like Kraven's Last Hunt? Good? No. But for a wacky, just kind of one-off comic, it delivers every aspect that you would want a wacky one-off comic to hit.
Yeah, it delivered on everything. The time horn is great. We should mention, not only did Spider-Man recover, but everyone else recovered too. Turner D. Century, he mixed up something there. And so it doesn't murder people, it just knocks them out for a little bit. That's all it does. So.
Yeah, he apparently, didn't get the settings right.
Probably for the best, because again, he would be dead. That was the one logic hole in this whole thing. It's that Turner D. Century could have murdered himself with the time horn. But other than that, everything made sense story-wise, And, Dominic Fortune. I like the old man trying to relive his past glory, because I try to do that every day when I go shoot hockey. And, it hurts.
Are you going to go try to find your lost love?
Yes. Sabbath Raven. So, that's pretty good. Yeah, I liked everything here. There's nothing to complain about. Carrie Gamble, this isn't the best Carrie Gamble, but it's still very good, very solid,
Yeah, I have no complaints. I mean, it all tracks. It's not like I was ever confused. It all looks like classic comic book art.
Yep.
He does well drawing old people. They look like old people.
He did a real good job. I love the panel of Turner D. Century hitting Dominic Fortune with the umbrella. That was great. And so, I liked everything about this. This was great. I don't have any complaints.
Yeah. I don't have anything either. It's pretty damn solid. Yeah. Trinity Century. I wish you would have stuck around longer. I know they wanted to kill people off by Scourge, but come on, this guy was gold.
Now he does come back. We talked about this briefly, I think, last week, but there's some storyline where someone was resurrecting villains.
Oh, okay.
To fight, and he was one of the people resurrected, but then, he's dead again by the end of that storyline as well.
Oh, man. Yeah, and I'm sure it wasn't even like, they probably didn't even give him lines or anything. It's just, he's like a zombie almost, probably.
Yeah. So, but I do think he has a couple other appearances after this, like in those kind of situations where he's raised from the dead or something, but,
I mean, in a world where nobody stays dead in comics,
seriously. We need more Turner D. Century, damn it.
Yeah.
Because what would he be thinking about today's world? If he was this upset about 1982, what about 2023? He'd be outraged. What's going on?
Yeah. What if he has to slide his scale because all those old people are now dead. I got to move up 20 years, and now I yearn for the 1960s.
I don't know how many people would really be upset if he's trying to murder 20-year-olds now, because these 20-year-olds are a bunch of jerks. you know?
Yeah.
Them and their TikToks and whatnot. Yeah. Get 'em out of there. But,
Instagrams. Back in my
sorry.
day, Teddygrams, and we liked it.
Teddygrams, yeah. Teddygrams. Teddygrams. All right. So what would you give this 1 out of 10, Jake?
You know what? I'm going to give it a 9. I had a
Wow,
fun
9.
time.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a lot to knock here, so I'll give it a solid 9. On the bad comic book scale. I mean, obviously it's not the finest piece of literature or something.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Even on a normal comic book scale, I'd give it an 8. I'd still, like, it's,
yeah.
it's rock solid. Like, you know, rock solid. Nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is good. Check out the Turner D Century.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
He's killed far before his time.
All right, Jank. Next week, it's your pick. What do you got?
All right. So next week, I figured since you were not tagging off of anything, you know, my last pick, you just kind of leapfrogged off of your own last pick.
That's right.
So I figured I would do the same. But we're not going to talk about the High Evolutionary. But since, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy the third movie will be out by this time we do the next recording here, I do believe. So I figured we'd stick with that, and we're going to do Rocket Raccoon #1 from 1985.
There's a Rocket Raccoon book in 1985?
Yeah, it was a 4-issue limited series. I don't like to pick #1s, but there's so much just like weird animals talking, you know, this whole planet of talking animals and stuff. There's like, looks like there's a lot of politics going on. So I'm like, if we don't start at the beginning, I'm going to be so lost because I don't know any of these characters.
I had no idea he had a limited series in 1985.
Yeah, it was written by Bill Mantlo, and the art was by Hellboy creator Mike Mignola.
No shit.
Yeah.
I love Mike Mignola's stuff.
It looks different than most of his stuff. So.
Yeah, he's probably a young fella finding his way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Wow. It looks like there's a monkey. It looks like there's a monkey.
See, it's got everything you want.
I had no idea this existed.
No. I think I've heard of this somewhere down the line. May have even seen one of the issues somewhere, but I've never read it.
Wow, this would be pretty good. Yeah, there are a lot of monkeys in this.
Yep, a lot of animals.
Yeah, and bunnies.
Yeah.
Frogs. Oh, how about that? Wow, this will be something. Yeah, it doesn't look like Mike Mignola. Like if you showed somebody this, you'd be like, yeah, that's not Mike Mignola.
Yeah, his newer stuff got much simpler kind of, and
sharp lines.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll be great. Rocket Raccoon next week, #1 from 1985. I am just stunned that this exists. I had no idea this was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's during that weird 80s time where they were trying all kind of different things.
Huh. All right, so that's next week. So until then, don't get any jank on you.